20 minutes after 11 o'clock. You know, right next to the mall where we broadcast from, there's a cave. I think they call it Scott Springs or something like that, right?
Yeah.
They call it Scott Springs. I can remember when we first discovered it. Well, we didn't discover it, but we walked over there and said, hey, there's a cave over here, right?
Yeah, all those years ago.
It was a long time ago, yeah. And anyway, so I was talking to somebody and I said, hey, did you know there's a cave next to the mall? Mm-hmm. Oh, matter of fact, I do. I studied spelunking, and I have a degree in spelunkingology from the College of University. Oh man, just one up to me. He not only knew it was there, but he had a degree in spelunking, Robin.
I know, isn't that something?
Well, to me, that's the best way to one up somebody. If you want to one up somebody with your intelligence, just always drop the whole degree thing on their lap.
That's
right. I got a bachelor's of science in caveology, Robin.
And say you know everything. I am smart.
Sarah Cooper is a funny lady. She's written a book called 100 Tricks to Appear Smart in Meetings, How to Get By Without Even Trying. Good morning, Sarah. Sarah's been with us before. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again.
Do you have a degree in anything?
I have a degree in looking smart from the College of University.
Yes, the College of University in spelunkingology. Yes. So thank you for being on the. I love this idea because it's funny. It's just inherently funny when you think about what you've put together here.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's kind of been it was my life for a long time, so I decided to make a book out of it.
Let me ask you something. Do women notice this more than men? Like, do men do this like naturally? That whole idea that we mansplain things to you ladies, does that put us in the category of using this information more than you do?
I hate to be, I hate to stereotype or anything like that, but I will say that a lot of these tricks were based mostly on what men were doing in meetings.
Yeah. So talk to her. I won't listen. You and Robin can talk. I'll just. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like we could have a bet to see how long that would last.
Oh man, I just got cut down, Robin.
I noticed that you have something, the most effective ways to listen to your coworkers while completely ignoring them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times in one-on-one meetings, you're the only other person in the room, so you are, all eyes are on you. Mm-hmm. So it involves a lot of, kind of pretending like you already knew what they were talking about before they even say anything. So it's a lot of, oh, sure, yeah, oh, definitely, of course. Well, yeah, of course, everybody knows that. Yeah, of course. So there's a lot of that going on, even though in your mind you're probably wondering what you're going to have for dinner or what you need to buy at the grocery store later.
We had one of those TEDx things in our town not too long ago, and we knew one of the people who was going to be speaking at the TEDx thing, and everybody was telling him to wear a jacket because a jacket makes you look smart.
Yeah.
Is that something? Do you think that's true? The clothing makes a difference?
I think that clothing could definitely make a difference, especially if you're going to like a networking event. If you're wearing a smart jacket, that's always great. And it's always great to not put on the name tag, because then people are like, ooh, he's breaking rules. He's changing the game. He's doing his own thing, and then people are like, why aren't you wearing a name tag? And you can be like, oh, well, I don't believe in name tags. I think people should just talk to each other. And it makes you look really smart.
I think that way all the time. I hate name tags.
Yeah, well, then you're looking smart without even trying.
How do you handle impromptu meetings?
The way that I like to do them is first of all, just to give a compliment right away. Say, oh, is your hair bun different today? Or, oh, are those new socks or something like that? Because it just disarms the person right away and they immediately feel like, oh, wow, you're noticing something about me. And so then it kind of gives you control of the conversation. But in a lot of these open office situations, you always have people coming up to you and asking if they can just grab you for a few minutes, but really they mean the rest of the afternoon, which is always really annoying. So another good thing to do is just to grab someone who's walking by and say, "Oh, I think we should pull Susan into this. Let's have Susan actually talk to us about this." And then while your coworkers are talking, you can kind of slip away and go into the bathroom to cry or whatever.
I had a lady come to my door one time at my house, and she was trying to change my religion. And my dog's name was Mrs. Clute, and I told Mrs. Clute to stop barking, and and the lady must have written down the name Mrs. Clute, because I told her, "I'm sorry, I don't really need any new religion today." And so she left, and then I am not making this up. Maybe 2 or 3 months later, the same pretty lady. She was pretty. That's how come I remember her. That's what men do. And then she said, she came to the door with her clipboard, and she said, "Excuse me, is Mrs. Clute home?" And I said, "Well, yeah. Hold on," and I went and got her, and she was surprised that it was a dog. I guess when she wrote notes, she didn't write down Mrs. Clute is the dog. She just wrote Mrs. Clute, probably. So.
Is your dog a Jehovah's Witness now?
See, I wasn't trying to identify the religion, but thank you for doing that.
What if you are
I'm just imagining your dog going from door to door now.
Yeah, right. And she's got a name tag on that says Mrs. Clute.
Yeah.
What if you are the one that's holding the meeting, and you know how you react when you're at a meeting?
Yeah. So I have a whole section about presentations, and so if you're giving a presentation, what you need to do. One of the things that I've noticed a lot, and one of the tricks is to hold papers in your hand and like a pen, so it looks like you're really you have lots of things that you can refer to when people are asking you questions. And then if someone asks you a question, before every answer, say, "Oh, wow, that is a really, really good question. I'm really glad you asked that question." And then you can say, "If you could just wait, I'll answer that maybe at the end, or maybe you'll get the answer if you just keep listening, and that way you don't have to actually answer any questions." Those are some good tricks.
Oh no! Do you know what else works? If you have a microphone and you have like a radio station flag on it, it looks like you're with a radio station. Oh my gosh, people will talk to you like you know something. Like you know something. Everybody wants to talk to you. But if you walk through the mall with just a microphone, they'll just think you're a nut.
I like walking through the mall and then just staring straight up at the ceiling, because then everybody else will start staring up at the ceiling too.
I've noticed that.
Wondering what you're looking at.
I've noticed that more and more people carry bottled water to meetings. Is that a good idea for everybody to bring something, or should they? Should you have snacks right there?
Yeah, that's a good one. If you bring a salad, bring something healthy, because that makes you look like you really care about your health. And then if it looks like somebody's about to ask you a question, just take a bite of your salad and then just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now because I'm eating my salad," and then you don't have to say anything.
Gosh, I remember when my son was little, I brought him to a meeting. He was young enough; he still needed a bottle. Mm-hmm. And my boss called me into his office. He says, "I'm sorry, Larry, you can't bring the baby to the meeting."
Do you listen to your coworkers when you know you're going to have this meeting, and then they might have some input even before the meeting starts about speculation about what it's going to be, or should you just go in there with an open mind?
You should always pre-meeting the meeting. That's always a good idea, because then everybody can and then sometimes you want to pre-meeting the meeting. So someone schedules a pre-meeting, you schedule a pre-meeting. Always make sure your meeting is going to be the first meeting about the meeting that anyone's going to have.
Oh, that's too funny. I already know what's in the book because I read the whole thing. 100 Tricks to Appear Smart. That's what makes you appear smart, when you tell somebody you read the whole book.
Yes.
I read the whole book. And not only did I read the whole book, I gave it to my son. By the way, the same baby that was on a bottle is now 30 years old. So. And he's a boss, so he holds meetings now. Sarah, thank you for being on the air with us. How do we get the book?
It's on Amazon right now. It's actually under $10 on Amazon, so check it out. 100 Tricks to Appear Smart in Meetings. You can get it for your work friend or nemesis or your boss or yourself.
There you go. Or the baby that used to be on the bottle. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for being on the air with us. It was fun. Always is fun.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Ford announcing it's investing $1.2 billion in 3 Michigan facilities.
President Trump tweeting about the automaker's plans, suggesting they will result in jobs